Okay guys, I was tagged to do a video on my 3 favorite bushcraft or woodcraft knives by a good channel, a guy over there named Dave from HighCarbonSteel Love channel. It's an awesome channel. If you haven't checked it out, do so. But he tagged me in this video, so I'm just going to kind of go through these knives and why. And so the 3 knives you see before you are my 3 favorite bushcraft knives. These 3 knives kind of go along with other tools. So when I'm using these 3 knives, I'll usually be carrying a saw. So my favorite saw is the Silky Pocket Boy. These silky saws are absolutely amazing. So I'll usually have that with me, and either my hand axe, so a small hand axe like that. This is a Condor Greenland axe, or I will carry like a tomahawk. A lot of the time I'll use a tomahawk. So these knives kind of go along with that, because I'm not going to rely on, especially these 2, to do a lot of the chopping tasks and things like that. So if I'm going to go somewhere that does not, where I'm not going to take an axe or something like that, or a saw, then I'll take a knife like this one. This is my favorite knife to take when I don't take an axe. So when I don't take an axe, this is a buck hoodlum. Absolutely love this knife. You can see it's quite a lot larger than the other knives. So I will take a large knife if I'm not going to take one of those other cutting tools. So it kind of just depends on what I'm doing at the time. But most of the time my kit is a saw, folding saw, an axe, and one of these 3 knives. So let's get into the knives here, what the 3 knives are. Let's start with this knife right here. This is an Ontario Rat 7, and that is a custom leather sheath that I made for it. So I made that sheath, and because the sheath that comes with it I don't really like, but that is my Rat 7. I have put a different edge on this knife than was come on at factory. I put a bow drill socket in the handle, so I have that there if I need it. And then I also sharpened the entire back spine of this knife so that I can strike a ferrocerium rod with that. And so that's my Rat 7. I like that knife a lot. It's kind of hard to choose which one of these is my favorite out of these 3. I kind of just take them at different times. I usually decide between these 2, and then this one always comes with me. I use this as a neck knife, so this one's kind of always there, and then I usually decide between one of these 2. This knife here, the next one, is my Condor Bush Lore, and this knife is awesome. It's super comfortable in the hand. I've put a bow drill socket also in the handle of that knife if I need that, and this knife just holds a really good edge. It's been through a lot of abuse. It's got a nice, I forced a patina on the blade there, and this knife is the one I seem to use most of the time. I just really like this knife. Works out really well. It's a very good knife for the money, and so that's my Condor Bush Lore. On the sheath I sewed in an extra little piece of leather on there so that I can put a ferrocerium rod in there, and so that is just locked in there by this cord, and so that's on there. Also the same with that knife, I put a ferrocerium rod on that. And so, like I say, when I go out, one of these 2 knives will be with me. Either the Rat 7 or the Bush Lore will be my main knives. And then for my 3rd knife, this one kind of comes with me 100% of the time. I usually wear this as a neck knife, and so it kind of goes on. It goes as a companion to either one of these knives. Is my Mora. This is the only Mora knife that I own. I had a Mora Classic that actually broke, and that kind of made me sad, but it was a great knife. But this more here takes a really wicked sharp edge. And it's just a really good size. If I'm carving or whittling and stuff like that, this knife will do an excellent job of that. And the handle is really good and comfortable. And I also sharpened the spine of this knife so it can strike a ferrocerium rod. And yeah, that's been an outstanding knife. So those 3 knives are my favorite bushcraft or woodcraft knives, and like I say, it'd be very hard for me to pick which one is my favorite between all of them. They kind of range in price from cheapest to most expensive. Obviously, this knife with that sheath setup is you know, a couple $100, but I love them all. They're great knives. Thanks HighCarbonSteel Love for tagging me. It was fun to make this video, and I'm gonna tag a buddy of mine, Cybercat84065. Let's see your 3 favorite woodcraft or bushcraft knives. Thanks guys. Bye.